Last week I talked about some of my absolute least favourite X-Antibody Digimon, but believe it or not, there are 10 that I actually love. So here is my top 10 X-Antibody Digimon.
Hey, come on! Call EX.
What is up everybody and welcome to this video. Now I want to do a little caveat here. I am testing myself, challenging myself if you will, by only including one natural carrier of the X-Antibody, so I'm going to have 9 actual X-Antibody forms. But maybe we'll do a video in future where I talk about natural carriers, or maybe we'll just do a video on the entirety of X-Antibody Digimon. But without further ado, let's jump into it. In at number 10 is Gotsumon X, and for a while I didn't think I liked Gotsumon X, but now I really do. I like that it really changes up Gotsumon. Gotsumon is this small, lithe, little cheerful rock creature in its X-Antibody form. Really still feels like a rookie, but also kind of bulks it up and makes it feel very unique. You can probably tell that its main influence is sumo wrestlers, and you can really see that throughout the whole design, and I think that's what's so great about it. You can feel that design in there. You know, the jagged rocks on its head kind of looking like top-notch, you've got the weight of the sumo, it really works. And this is what I like about the X-Antibody, the opportunity to go through a different design process for an existing Digimon, try something different. It's not over-designed, it's simplistic, but it's just a new take on what Gotsumon could be. That's why it's my number 10. In at number 9 is Nefertiti Mon X, and I know I'm going to catch some flack for this because my whole thing is that I don't like the X-Antibody Digimon just look over-designed, but there is just something incredible about Nefertiti Mon X that I just can't deny. Obviously, I am a huge sucker for armored Digimon, so that is obviously one of the elements that goes into this. But what I really like about Nefertiti Mon X is it doesn't feel over-designed. It feels like a different design choice for the existing Digimon. Nefertiti Mon is the exact opposite of robotic. It goes for the very Egyptian, ancient stone kind of vibe, the Sphinx. But this is like a Nefertiti Mon mech, and I'm very into it. They really adapted all the robotic elements really nicely, all the mechanical elements to have this real nice sheen, this nice sharpness that I love in the design, but they still kept the body of Nefertiti Mon basically the same way she always was, you know, like a big elongated version of Gatomon. An interesting note here is that Nefertiti Mon X has bonded with Cyberdramon claws to make itself stronger, which I think is a nice little bit of lore. I like when Digivolution lore factors in other Digimon. You see this with Metal Greymon and also with Zudomon, where they take on the elements of another Digimon when they digivolve. I think that's really cool. So yeah, while generally I'm not a fan of these sort of like meched up super spiky forms, I think Nefertiti Mon is the perfect balance here. It adds the kind of slightly more out of the edge, but without going too far and still retaining what was so great about the original. In at number 8 is Keramon X, and this is such a good X-Antibody form. Again, it is not over-designed, it's very simplistic in what it's doing, but it makes a lot of sense. Keramon's Digivolution line, especially in our war game and some of its other appearances, are about its growth. Its quick acceleration to Diaboromon. Once it becomes Diaboromon, like in our war game, it multiplies, right? It is a computer virus, ostensibly. And so I really like the thought process behind Keramon X here. It's sort of halfway, it's in the middle of mitosis. Had to Google if I got mitosis right. The design influence is also from the Seraph, which is a 6-winged angel that is also often portrayed as having a lot of eyes. So it's a really nice evolution. It feels like kind of, you know, when you look at biology documentaries and they talk about how things evolve and how things split up under a microscope, it really feels like this weird mid-stage of a virus, right? It's gone from this spindly Keramon, it's sprouted wings, it's going through this kind of weird mitosis phase, gained a bunch of eyes. It's not over-designed, it's just the right amount of advancement of Keramon's design. It's exactly what something like Keramon, the kind of embodiment of computer viruses in the Digimon world, would happen if it was met with another computer virus. It's, you know, super virus. It's, oh god, it's COVID. Oh no. In at number 7 on the list is Wizardmon X. I really like this design. At first I did think it was a little bit over-designed, but then I realized something really cool about Wizardmon X. It looks like the perfect evolution of Impmon X, something I have been wanting for years, or well rather I wanted an evolution of Impmon that really felt like it was designed for Impmon. Impmon and Tamers only ever warped Digivolved to Beelzemon, so over the years they've retrofitted certain Digimon to be his champion and ultimate stage. You get Devimon, you get Wizardmon, and a lot of them do make sense. But stacking Impmon X and Wizardmon X next to each other, it looks like a real proper final Digivolution line as intended. I don't think it over-designs Wizardmon, but it does kind of bring in more of the devilish elements from Impmon and I guess Devimon, but it does just enough to tie it into Impmon and feel like I could kind of homebrew a Digivolution line. I like the spiky cape. I also like the fact that apparently it is so good at magic that it can disintegrate things at the quantum level. And you know, it ranked 26th in a poll on the best X-Antibody Digimon, so pretty good in my book. In at number 6 is Metal Gurumon X. Now, yes, it does have some of the slightly over-designed out of the edge thing that I talked about on my worst list, but what I really appreciate about Metal Gurumon X is that, at least to me, this looks like where Gurumon should have digivolved into. I always found it very strange that throughout Gabumon's Digivolution sequence, he went from on 2 feet to on all fours to on 2 feet to on all fours. And that's okay, you know, one up, one down, one up, but evolution to me is supposed to be about advancing, right? If it's based on real life evolution, and all fours to bipedal is kind of a natural evolution state of most animals. That is kind of becoming the pinnacle. Apparently walking on 2 legs is better than 4 legs, even though lions would eat the shit out of us. So I thought it always looked like where Gurumon was heading somewhere, you know, from a wolf on all fours all the way up to like a sort of big humanoid style form, not the one from Last Evolution Kizuna. And so that's what I like about Metal Gurumon X. I think it incorporates all the elements that you like from Metal Gurumon, but it feels more like something that where Gurumon would digivolve into. I always felt like Gurumon should digivolve into Metal Gurumon, and where Gurumon should digivolve into Metal Gurumon X. And to me, it's almost like a prototype of Crest Gurumon. I wouldn't be surprised if the idea of Crest Gurumon and Blitz Greymon came from this, because obviously Crest Gurumon and Blitz Greymon kind of swap weapons, so Crest ends up with swords and Blitz ends up with guns. But this is kind of that first step, you know, this is an alt take on Metal Gurumon, and I just super dig it. I think if it had appeared in the anime and not just official art, they probably would have toned down some of the overly spiky, edgy stuff, and that would have really made it perfect for me. But overall, a great Digimon, a great form, and something really unique. It does something unique with Metal Gurumon, which is something I love. I don't mind X-Antibody being a little bit over-designed, a little bit edgy, as long as it's doing something new with the concept of the Digimon that it's evolving from, and also doesn't feel like too much of a huge departure. He's honestly one of the only reasons that I really want to replay Digimon World 4. In at number 5 on my list is Togamon X. Now this may seem really weird, but what I think is really cool about Togamon X is it is the only X-Antibody Digimon that is better designed than a Digimon that is trying to do its design aesthetic. I believe that Togamon X is a far superior version of Ponchomon. First of all, Ponchomon is bordering on racist with the maracas in the sombrero. That's a little bit too much for me, and the poncho, but also the fact that it's kind of like ghosty and floating always felt really weird to me, especially because it's so often used as an armor Digivolution. But I think that Togamon X does it perfectly. It definitely leans more into the cactus in the Mexican desert vibe with the sombrero, and I guess it's a poncho, but it very much reminds me of like cowboys, like Marty McFly wears a very similar thing in Back to the Future Part 3. And another thing, and Jesus, you know I hate bringing up Pokemon in these videos, and I'm limiting myself to like one every other video at most, but this is literally what I've been looking for from a fire grass Pokemon for the longest time. Using the heat of the desert to give him a little fire spurt coming out. It's such a great idea. It just so works for a cactus because they are very, you know, low moisture. The lore here also is that Vadermon was taken to Area 51 and Togamon was supposed to be his weapon. I just really like this design. I think it's just right for what we're looking for from an X-Antibody. It advances the design of Togamon but doesn't go too far with it. It still feels like a champion. It is not over-designed, super spiky, edgy at all. It's just right. I love Togamon X so much, and it shows Ponchomon exactly what it should have been. In at number 4 is Cyberdramon X, and this is just purely an aesthetics thing. I adore this design. It is described as having a rubber armor, which I think is really cool, that has hardened all around it, and it's described as a virus buster, which again is very cool. But just conceptually, it's such a different take on Cyberdramon. Cyberdramon leaning heavily into the humanoid dragon thing, whereas Cyberdramon X to me feels more like a dragonfly. I love the wing design. The wings are so good. You've got the X for the wing, very nice, plus the kind of offshoots in the back that look great. And just overall, while it is a big departure from Cyberdramon, it just brings in enough of it for you to know it's Cyberdramon, keeps it feeling like an ultimate, but also just does something so different. I love the idea of dragons and dragonflies, and that feels really tight here. If we're ever going to get like a Tamers reboot like we're getting with Adventure 2020, I would love for them to factor in this design of Cyberdramon somehow. In at number 3 on the list was almost my number 2 pick, but there's literally only one reason that I didn't put it in number 2, and that's because I'm not that big of a fan of its original Digimon, and that's Gankumon X. Now I want to specify, I do actually like Gankumon, I just don't have much attachment to it. But here's a very controversial statement. You know how I said that Togamon X improves upon the design of a different Digimon? I think Gankumon X looks better than Gankumon. Oh god, the pitchforks, no! I don't mind Gankumon at all, but it just does feel like a dude in a coat. Yeah, he's like got the flame fist thing, but doesn't really separate him from any Digimon we've seen before. We've had a Gunimon, we've had Flamedramon, and yeah, his kind of persona coming out of him is pretty cool, and maybe we'll talk about a persona type thing in the next entry. I don't know, something about Gankumon just felt like they didn't finish his design to me, and that's where Gankumon X comes into play. Gankumon X is so clean. The stripped back Heihachi Mishima, Jinpachi Mishima vibes that I get from Gankumon are exquisite. Something else really cool about the design is that its familiar, Inu Kamoi, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, has been assimilated into Gankumon X. They are no longer two separate entities, they are one fearsome beast. Like a drunk girl at the club, he has taken his high heels off and he is ready to fight. Those shoes, specifically called Tetsugeta, which are a type of Japanese shoe, that actually require you to use your toe to grip them, to wear them properly, and they're supposed to strengthen your ability to kick, basically. So Gankumon X is basically saying, my kicks are strong enough, now I'm gonna beat you with my shoe. Overall, such a great design, kind of the perfect version of Gankumon. Rather than feeling like a corruption or some kind of weird design, this feels almost like a Gankumon burst mode, like an intended final form for Gankumon, and I absolutely adore it. In at number 2, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm at the Pizza Hut, I'm at the Taco Bell, I'm at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. I'm simping for Lady Devi Mon X is what I'm trying to say. I just adore the design here. I'm such a fan of Kingdom Hearts and Tetsuya Nomura, and this just feels like a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. She's got her companion, which is really cool. Reminds me exactly of the Guardian that Ansem Seeker of Darkness has in Kingdom Hearts 1 and all his other appearances in the franchise. It just looks so cool. It's one of my favorite Dark Digimon designs ever, and that's mainly why it's on the list. I'm sorry, I just love Lady Devi Mon X so much. I'm sorry, don't come for me. I'm sorry. As I said, I do love its companion, its guardian, Vole? But a little cherry on the top of this one is that Lady Devi Mon X does digivolve into Beelstarmon X, that's right, Bayonetamon. So yes, while I try not to put the same Digimon on one list, it is a Digivolution line, so I'm going to allow it, and Lady Devimon X and Beelstarmon X, listen, I just like them for the designs. And in at number 1, I said I would have one natural carrier on this list, and it's been staring you in the face this whole time. It's actually Fanbeamon, but Pororumon digivolves into Fanbeamon, and I genuinely don't know why I forgot that in my top 10 lines video. I guess I wasn't trying very hard back then. Yeah, I just adore Fanbeamon. It's one of my favorite Digimon. As you can probably tell, I like insect Digimon a bunch, and yeah, just Fanbeamon is so perfect. Pororumon is so perfect. Waspmon is okay. Cannonbeamon and Tiger Vespermon are fantastic. This whole line is so goddamn good. I love Fanbeamon finally showing up in Digimon Adventure 2020 after never having had an anime appearance before. People say it did, but that's Honeybeamon. I understand the confusion. I adore Fanbeamon. It would be, I think, my partner if I could choose. I think Wormmon is my favorite Digimon, but Fanbeamon is one I choose as my partner because it hasn't been one before. This is the epitome of X-Antibody carrier design. I love it. I don't like Gurumon too much. I adore Fanbeamon so much. Anyway, that is my list of my top 10 X-Antibody Digimon. I do want to give a quick shout out to a Mechamon. It wasn't going to make the list, but what a fantastic little Digimon. What do you think? What are your favorite X-Antibody Digimon? You can include all natural carriers if you want. I'm not going to make you go the same stipulations I had, but let me know down below. It helps a bunch commenting. We are racking up the subs right now, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for watching my videos. It literally changed my life recently when the Digimon fans came on board. So thank you so much. Yeah, tell me your favorite X-Antibody Digimon. Tell me what kind of videos you want to see from me. I'm always open to ideas. And until the next video, let's go digital.